Christ has risen, and he is the open door. He said that Jesus Christ has risen, and he is the open door.
Well, how you doing, everyone? Welcome to this episode of the Cajun Conservative, where we talk about life, we talk about liberty, and we talk about the pursuit of happiness and telling the world that Cajuns do have intelligence. Hope you're having a good day, good week, wherever you are located. Let me know if you like the new intro music. That is something we're working with right now. Unfortunately, we had to change our intro music, but it's okay. It's okay. You still got the same old Cajun Conservative, trying something new, letting the song go out, but also, I want to let you know that song is the Open Door by Eric Hayes on his album He's Mine. You can find that on the web. Just type in Eric Hayes, He's Mine. That's who comes up with the whole album. Go ahead and check him out. We also have Lenny Hayes for Holy Ghost Fire. Go check him out on Amazon. That is, just want to thank my dad and my uncle for allowing me to use their music. That is a blessing. When you have musicians in the family, ladies and gentlemen, musicians that would just go ahead and let you borrow their stuff. We are working on an intro song with my uncle right now. My uncle has a studio. If you look around me and you watch Brothers Just Searching, you know that we have a studio, but it's a podcast studio. So we go ahead and ask him to go ahead and take care of our music and everything of that nature. I hope you're having a good day today, ladies and gentlemen. The day of recording is Sunday. As always, we're recording on Sundays right after church, which I could say church was awesome as always. You know, and look, I'm going to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. If you go to church, which you should, not because you want to be religious, but because you want to have a closer relationship with our Lord and our Savior, Jesus Christ. And you should want to grow and be matured in the faith. But if you should never go to church, just giving you a quick insight, you should never go to church thinking, oh, well, this is a religious act I got to do. No, you go there to get refreshed. You go there to spend time with the Lord. Don't think of it as a religious activity. Think of it as drawing closer to the Lord. Now, if you're an atheist or you're agnostic or you're somebody like that, if you go to church, you're going to think, look at these people acting crazy and stupid and idiotic. But no, we're worshiping Jesus. So I'm just, go to church today, ladies and gentlemen. Go to church. Go to church. But at the time of this recording dropping is going to be on Monday. I believe, I got to go get the 25th of April. So I got a few quick announcements to make. And I'm going to jump right into the topics today, which there is a lot, as always. Just a quick reminder, starting next week, starting the first week of May, you will be getting another notification from your friendly neighborhood Cajun Conservative, because we are going to be making 2 shows. Now, I remember last week I said we was going to drop it on Wednesday. It's either going to be Wednesday or Thursday. That's the plan. The reason we're doing that, I want to go halfway, and my lovely wife brought that out to me. She said, "Man, I'll be 2 days apart. You're gonna have the longest stretch of from Wednesday on to Monday. It's gonna be a long stretch. Why don't you go to the middle? It's gonna be on Thursday. So Monday and Thursdays most probably. So set your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, the Cajun Conservative is gonna go ahead and do 2 shows. So you're gonna have an extra hour of me giving you my opinion and telling you news stories that would I would have to wait for a week. So I'm excited because that, to me, that's half of the work. It's still the same amount of work, but at least I get, there's some stories, and I talked to a couple of listeners this week. I had another idea of how to do this, and I was like, man, this might work better. But I went ahead and I talked to a few listeners locally, and they said, no, keep the hour. Keep both shows an hour and just go straight forward. But I want to go ahead and do what y'all want, but I learned something in the middle of the week. The stories in the first half of the week, if you notice, and I noticed that, so I know y'all notice, that majority of my stories come from later in the week because that's something that's relevant. So these 2 stories are going to go ahead and make you more informed of things that are currently going on. So that's going to be the first week of May. Remember, you can find me on Apple, Google, Spotify, and Rumble and YouTube. Just type in the Cajun Conservative. If you, whatever platform you like, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That is very important. Hit the subscribe button and also tell a friend, ladies and gentlemen. That helps out more than you know. And go ahead and leave me a 5-star review. On social media accounts, we are on Facebook at the Cajun Conservative Show. We are on Twitter now. Twitter at it's the Cajun Show, I believe. That's my Twitter. My phone's over there. But look up the Cajun Conservative. It should pop up. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited that I have a Parler as well. Go check out Parler, but I don't hardly do much on that. But go check out Truth Socials. I'm so happy to announce, finally, Truth Social. They did something with Rumble. They teamed up with Dan Bongino and the people at Rumble. They went on their cloud, and it apparently, right when they announced it, I went to look up Truth Social today. I got off the waiting list. I am on Truth Social now, the Cajun Conservative. Go check me out. And I'm going to be doing a lot on, it's more like Twitter. And I think that's going to encourage me to go ahead and put stuff on that platform and Twitter. Very similar. So I haven't really dug into it. I already have 2 followers at the time of this recording. But I need all of you, if you are on Truth Social, go follow me on Truth Social so I can give you some truths that are happening in the nation today. All right, guys, let's go ahead and talk about our topics, which I'm just going to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. I just think the country, it's tired of the leftist agenda. I'm really starting to think that, ladies and gentlemen, because the thing of it is we had a lot of things that happened this week concerning leftist media. What am I talking about? Well, one of the biggest stories, it was announced early, I think Wednesday, that CNN Plus, Thursday, the 21st of April, that CNN Plus was being shut down. Now, you might be asking, well, Isaac, is that relevant to me? Why? It just it shows me something that America doesn't want the left involved, or most of Americans don't believe in what the left is promoting, which is bigger government, more taxes, and spending like crazy from the federal government, besides other things that the left is trying to push. But CNN Plus, ladies and gentlemen, on Thursday announced that it would be shutting down. CNN said it was shutting down CNN Plus. Why, you may ask? Because they were there for a month, 30 days. And CNN Plus, which took 300 million to design, 300 million to promote, 300 million to advertise, and all this stuff, only had about 10,000 subscribers, and we're not getting new subscribers. Now, if you compare that to Fox Nation from Fox News, Fox Nation is blowing up. Why? Because it could be because they're promoting it better, or because more people believe in a fair, balanced news, news anchor or news journalism than the left. CNN is popular for going ahead and promoting leftist ideas and cutting down things that are constitutional. Prime example, and that's the first thing that came to my mind, was Kyle Rittenhouse. Poor Kyle Rittenhouse was a man that just he was guilty before even the trial started. CNN covered it. Also, the guy that was beating the drum in front of the kid that had the mega hat on. Oh, he was disrespectful to our dear friend that was Native American. But come to find out, he was taunting the young man. CNN went ahead and did that. Now, CNN, like I said, took a lot of money to promote CNN Plus. CNN Plus, one was Chris Wallace. Chris Wallace said, I'm tired of Fox News, so I'm going to CNN Plus, where I have a daily show, and you can watch all my shows anytime you want. Now Chris Wallace is apparently looking for another job, unless he goes on CNN. Might put him on a Sunday news show, I don't know. But CNN Plus could only get about 10,000 subscribers, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, I'm going to get to my point in a second about why America, I just think America ain't woke. America don't want to be woke. Or they don't want to be part of the woke agenda. Why do I say that? Because of this 10,000 subscribers, only 10,000 some people felt the need to go ahead and subscribe to CNN Plus. Now, we also got some other news this week. Netflix. I got the news that Netflix stocks were tanking. Why? Because they're losing subscribers. Now they raised their price. I had someone that's a good friend of mine, which I'm going to get on the show later on, not in this episode, but at a later date, we're going to try to get him on. He's big into stocks and he's big into the economy. And he said that, look, Netflix has shot themselves in the foot. Netflix raised their prices. They're cracking down on shared accounts. They're doing all kind of stuff. So they have tanked. Now, people, well, they're worldwide. Yes, but in America, they have tanked. Their stocks are tanking. Why? Because they promote more leftist agenda shows on there. Prime example, there's a new show, and I can't remember, but the man is pregnant on the show. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a comedy, but they're trying to show, hey, there's no genders involved. That's basically what's behind the movie. And if you look at it, look, Bill Cosby did that, and I'm probably going to get criticized for saying it, but on the Bill Cosby show, he had a dream where all the men would drink the water and they got pregnant. Now, that was a joke, folks. They didn't have nothing with sexuality in it. It was a joke. But then, the way that I'm understanding, this show is talking about transgenderism. Disney is a prime example. Disney has lost stocks. Now, this is going to also Ron DeSantis signing the bill to where they have to get permits and pay taxes. They're not their own little state no more. That played a role in it, and that happened this week. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that later on. We mentioned Disney in the second segment. Also, we have, let's see, I got another news story with it. But CNN, Netflix, Disney, and also Spotify. What do you mean? What are you talking about Spotify, Isaac? Well, Fox News, Spotify declines to renew the Obama podcast content. It reports. Now, what you talking about this? Obama and Michelle Obama had a podcast on Spotify, multiple podcasts, which we're a part of as Spotify family. Glad to be part of it. But Spotify rejected the Obama's podcast. They say because the Obamas didn't make enough content, but I believe that their numbers were down. People are not listening to Obama and, Barack and Michelle Obama. They're just not. And this is why I'm coming to the point. Because all the networks and all the shows I just mentioned, Netflix, CNN, Spotify with the Obama podcasts, and all these networks that I just talked about, they're having one thing in common right now, folks. They are declining or they're getting shut down. Why, you may ask? Because I just said it. America does not want to be woke. Majority of American people do not listen to these people or these networks because of the leftist agenda idea. Majority of Americans, I'm going to quote Joe Manchin on this. Joe Manchin had it smart. Joe Manchin said that majority of Americans today are right-centered, but they're not left-centered. They're not going to the left, folks. Majority, and now look, if you go to California, New York, Chicago, and other places of that nature, you might see that. You might see that part of the nation is woke. That part of the nation is trying to be woke. But ladies and gentlemen, this proves right here. Look, CNN Plus, ladies and gentlemen, let's compare this to like Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino said one episode took 92,000 listens. Just one episode of his podcast. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's put this in perspective. If the Cajun Conservative could ever get 10,000 listeners per episode, I'll be a very happy man. I would. But I'm small potatoes compared to CNN Plus. They should have been getting that a day, not a month. If America is so woke, or if America is so ready for this leftist agenda idea, why ain't these platforms surviving? Like Netflix and Disney Plus. Look, guys, I know people, they cancel their Netflix account. They cancel their Disney Plus account. They got the God-given right to do that. I still have them. But at the same time, I'm not going to go ahead and talk bad upon people that went ahead and canceled their account. And look, this is showing what if people are really passionate about this. Now, you might be asking the question, Isaac, why didn't you go ahead and cancel your Disney Plus and cancel your Netflix? I'll tell you, I'll save a lot of money off of it. But I'm against cancel culture. And I'm in the mindset, I'm a rare breed of conservatives. If I don't like the content, I don't watch it. And if I don't watch enough of that streaming platform, I cancel it because I don't watch the stuff on it. I still watch some stuff on Disney Plus. I still watch some stuff on Netflix. I still watch some stuff on Discovery Plus. Discovery Plus hasn't said anything. I'll let you tell you, you're a Christian. They came against Hillsong. I agree with that. I agree with they talked about Hillsong. It's true. Anyway, I'm on my rant. I'm sorry. But this is the thing, ladies and gentlemen. CNN Plus, Disney, Spotify, and look, the Barack Obama and Michelle Obama podcast. They have low numbers. Now, the episodes are still going to be there, but their contract is done. They're not going to pay them because they're not producing content to begin with, but at the same time, they're pushing leftist agenda. It was done this week. Barack Obama wants to get into more false information. How false information on these platforms of social media, which majority of us are on, True Social, Twitter and Facebook. Oh, there's false information going on. I want to be more involved. Because an election's coming up, folks. And the Democrats can't hide anything. We're going to get into that in the next segment because I want to talk about that as well. There were some attacks on Kevin McCarthy. There were some attacks on Trump and Ron DeSantis this week. But going back to these social media accounts, not these streaming platforms and the left is the left's message is not of hope, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, stop buying cars, stop using fuel. Let's save the environment. Let's go ahead and kill babies through abortion because it's part of a woman's health issue. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just... American people don't want to hear this. American people do not want to hear that everything you're doing is bad. They just don't want to hear it. And the left thinks, well, we got to tell them, we got to promote this stuff down. Like journalism, CNN Plus, ladies and gentlemen, this network lies more than anybody else. But social media and big media platforms are still going to promote CNN and saying they're preaching the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, they're not. And I think that's one of the reasons why they did not get so many subscribers. I believe the only reason CNN is surviving is because of cable news networks. That if you buy a news package, like me, for example, if I would go ahead and buy a news package from satellite or cable from a network like that, I would have to have CNN. So that's the only reason they're surviving. But ladies and gentlemen, and all this is another thing. I'm going to probably iterate more when into the break. All these media companies, all CNN Plus, Disney Plus, Netflix, the Obamas, and every other one that's going on that is losing stocks that are being hurt by they're being hurt because they're going woke. And the phrase is gonna fit. The phrase fits it. If you go woke, you're gonna go broke. That's basic, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, people do not want to hear CNN talk about climate change and talk about how bad Trump was and how good Biden is when it's totally opposite. They just don't want that. And I think that's why these media companies are failing. It's not because, I heard one commentator say that this week, it's because I think people are just getting tired of streaming networks. And they getting tired. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm surprised satellite and cable TV is still there. But on a note, no, I don't think people are getting upset with streaming services. I don't think they want to pay $20-some a month or whatever Netflix is and whatever Hulu is, and to hear, hey, the environment's bad, Trump's bad, you got to stop using fuel to save the environment. You got to go ahead and you got to accept transgenderism. You got to go ahead and stop using fossil fuels. And being bashed for some beliefs you have. They don't want to pay money for that. I wouldn't. So I think that's the thing. I think people are turning them off because they don't want to hear a leftist agenda when they don't believe in that. And it's being pushed down their throat. I'll be right back after this short break.
How you doing, everyone? Isaac here. I'm the Cajun Conservative, and I want to thank Brother Lanny Hayes from Hayes' Dump Truck Service for their generous support of the Cajun Conservative and Brothers Just Searching. Hayes' Dump Truck Service serves the Lafayette and surrounding areas. If you have any job that you need done, like cleanup or hauling material to your job site or your home, we haul limestone, we haul sand, we haul topsoil, any type of material you need. If you're in the Lafayette and surrounding areas, please call Brother Lanny Hayes at 337-852-8043. Remember, Hayes' Dump Truck Service, where Jesus is Lord of the company.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the second segment of the Cajun Conservative Show this week. Going back to this network of like the Netflix and all this stuff. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not against freedom of speech. I'm not against expressing your beliefs. If you believe in the LGBTQ community and the transgender movement, as much as I disagree with it, you have the right to go ahead and voice your opinion on the issue. But CNN Plus and all these other networks like Netflix add these leftist agenda ideas into their movies. They push it in there. Let me use, for example, I love The Rookie on ABC, about a man that's very, very elderly, not that elderly, like 80, like, no, not that, but a man that's around 39, 40 years old, and he feels his calling to be a cop. And ladies and gentlemen, I watch this show. I like this show. It does show what some cops go through on a normal day basis, but the ideology in there is that cops could be better. Cops hurt people just because they got power, and they go through all the left's ideas of why. Look, one of the actors even left the show because he was a black actor, and he said, I can't play a cop with all this stuff going around, and it's not showing the issues of black people with cops. He said that. That's why he left the show. But you could tell the left ideology in that movie. The same thing with the Designated Survivor. Designated Survivor is a good show. I like the show. But the last couple of episodes I've been watching, I'm watching on Netflix. It's not on the air no more. I'm watching it, and they're show like the left, like how guns are bad, and the president's trying to stop guns from going on the streets, and they want universal background checks. That's all leftist idea. And in the show, it's not, the president isn't a Democrat, he's an independent, and he wants to go he wants to team up with and there's Republicans. Yes, sure, true, yes, and there's a leftist idea in this show. Now, to be honest with you, I would love the show if they wouldn't put that. Now, I understand, like, Designated Survivor, that is a political type show, whatever. So, and it's talking about a president, a guy that something happened at the State of the Union. He became the president, and all. I understand that it has to have some politics in it because, hey, it's a political show. But, ladies and gentlemen, I think if these networks would not push leftist ideology, their numbers will go back up. I don't think people are watching Netflix and watching Disney Plus and even going to watch CNN Plus. Because look, folks, Fox Nation. I don't have Fox Nation. I read Fox News, and I don't need Fox Nation. But I think the reason Fox Nation is doing so well is because it's not mainly news stories. Majority of Fox Nation's content on Fox on the streaming network is documentaries. It's investigating one story and making it into like a documentary. And that's, to be honest with you, that's how they're making their money. Look, they even have Duck Dynasty on Fox Nation now. So a lot of people that like Duck Dynasty are watching Fox Nation. Discovery Plus. I'm hearing a lot of good things about Discovery Plus. And look, I'm not promoting none of this. None of these people pay me to do this. But I've been watching Discovery Plus, and guess what? There's nothing political on there. And guess what? The numbers are going up. I never seen a network go down. Why? Because they're not pushing leftist ideas, or they're not trying to push a political agenda. See, like this show, we promote conservatism. This is totally opposite than a streaming. People that listen, you the listener that listens to this show, is not if you start hearing me talk about leftist agenda and I have a conservative name, you're not going to listen to me. Because I line up with you. That's why you listen. You choose to listen to this show. But if I was, let's say, prime example, if I was, and a lot of my friends, I never watched Star Wars, but I'm using that as an example. If I was a big Star Wars fan or a Marvel fan, I like the Marvel movies. If I was a big Marvel fan and I said, I want to make a podcast dedicated to Marvel superheroes, and I come out talking politics, 9 out of 10, my audience is not going to stay. Prime example, Brothers Just Searching, my other podcast that I do with my brothers in the Lord every week. We talk about false religions. We talk about the Bible. We do a Bible study. We talk about things that pertain to Christianity. I try to throw in politics into it. Everybody asked me, almost all my listeners, majority of a lot of my listeners said, we like your Bible study, but we don't like when you get into politics. Why? Because they didn't come there to listen about politics. They came to listen about the Bible. And that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people go ahead and they tune into Netflix or they pick a show. It's not, they don't want to be forced to listen about transgenderism. They don't want to be forced to listen about the climate change unless they're listening to a documentary. And look, Netflix, Disney Plus, they all got that. They have parts of that network that show documentaries about climate change, about transgenderism. They have that. But to go ahead and do like Disney did and have their executives say, we're going to show 50% of our lead characters being either transgender or a gay person, and the public knows that, and majority of your public don't believe in that and don't want their kids being propagandized into that, they're going to shut you off. They're going to go ahead and pull you. They're not going to want your platform because they don't want to sit down and watch you bring out a political point. Look, conservatives are like this. I'm not just picking on the left. I'm just not, because the left is like that. A lot of people that lean more to the left don't want to watch a football game. And look, if you're watching on YouTube and Rumble, I got a Saints shirt on right now. Majority of people that watch a football game or go tune into Netflix and go tune into Disney Plus don't want to have politics in their face. It's proven by the NFL, ladies and gentlemen. When Colin Kaepernick did what he did, kneeling, a lot of people didn't stop watching. A lot of people did because they were patriotic and they thought he was protesting the flag, which my opinion and my beliefs, for all the fact checkers out there, I believe he was. That's my opinion and my personal belief. But a lot of people, we just don't want politics. When you sit in front of when you go ahead and you sit in front of a streaming service or a sporting event, you don't want politics thrown in your face. That's an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever long the movie is, or the sporting event. They want to be. Look, let the world go aside. We just want to sit down and watch a game. I don't want to know what's going on in the world. I don't want to know what's going on after. I just want to sit down and watch a movie. I want my mind to be at peace. I don't want my mind thinking of and look, the reason I bring that up is a Designated Survivor. The movie, I like the movie. But when it starts getting into politics, my conservatism starts rearing up his ugly head, and I start, why don't they bring out this point? Why don't they bring out that? And I can't enjoy the movie now because I'm thinking of politics. I don't want that. All I want is to watch a movie on your platform And you're pushing this wokeness to me. I don't want it. And look, ladies and gentlemen, look, to be honest with you, look, my wife came up to me the other day and said, hey, you want to cancel Disney Plus? And I was like, why? And she basically said, she goes, well, everything going on with Disney right now. And I told her, I said, look, we watch what our kids watch. We watch what our kids are watching. And if I see something that is leaning more to the left or something that is going against my belief as a parent, I tell them you can't watch that. That's just the bottom line. So I watch what my kids watch, but she was more going on the line of the political side. Well, they're doing this and this. Do you want to get rid of it? I said, no, we're going to keep it. Now, look, like I said, that's my belief, ladies and gentlemen. But you as a consumer, you as a customer of all these platforms, if you want to get rid of them, hey, by all means, go. Do it. And go ahead and educate yourself to get something else or whatever. All right, guys. So this week, I want to talk about the media a little bit. So President Trump did an interview with Morgan, Pierre Morgan. I don't know if he's French or what. And let me build this up for a minute. I know the left is worried right now. I really think the left is worried about November, which is only 6 months away at the time of this recording. The midterms are coming up. And every poll that you see is bringing Democrats down. It's saying how the Democrats are going to suffer this coming midterm election. And I'm starting to see that the Democrats are very scared. Why? Because they're not talking about policy, ladies and gentlemen. When you ask a Democrat about policies on infrastructure or inflation or high prices of gas, the border, and all this stuff, it is looking pretty bad. This week, especially the border, remember, we don't want to build a wall. We want to replace everything Trump did, which Biden did. They're about to end Title 42 coming up in May. And we hearing that migrants are coming over to where even that this week, a Texas National Guard soldier died trying to save an illegal immigrant. Now, in America, a lot of people think we're tyrants and they think we're racist and bigots and everything like that. But one of our soldiers died to save a non-citizen of this country. Just saying. But they want to end Title 42 and it's bringing in more migrants to where earlier this week, I believe it was one article says 23, another one says 40. This is all according to Fox News. That 40 known people that crossed over the border, the southern border, were on the terrorist list. That's dangerous. But see, if you bring stuff like out that, folks, the Democrats can't give an answer. That's what I'm trying to say. Democrats can't run on policy right now. Everything they've done is bad. Literally. Everything that Biden promotes is bad. The infrastructure bill, bad. It raised up inflation. Inflation's bad. At last count, and I'm waiting for next month's numbers to come out later next month, 8.5, the last of the inflation went up. Border crossing, I just mentioned the border of known terror people on the terrorist watch list is coming over the southern border. You have the supply chains. My mother told me the other day, Isaac, we went to Walmart and guess what? There's nothing on the shelves. Why? I said, well, it explains who's in office. So all this stuff, ladies and gentlemen, all this stuff that's coming out is bad for the Democrat Party. Like I said, polls are showing it. One poll said that the Republicans are in the lead to take the congressional house. I heard one Republican this morning on Fox News Sunday that they think they're going to take 40 seats. If that would happen, that is a landslide, ladies and gentlemen. And poor Biden would not be able to get anything crossed because the way our government works, if the Senate proposes a bill, they vote on it, they got to go to the House, and the House got to vote on it. Shut down. They can't go through the House because if they try to go through the House, it's going to get shut down in committees. So Democrats are looking very or bad right now. It's not looking good. So why am I bringing this all up? Because you're starting to see the media and the left use tactics that they used for years. The Republicans are impatient, like Donald Trump. Let's use, for example, Pierre Morgan, I hope I'm saying his name, but Morgan went ahead and had an interview with Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump agreed for 20 minutes. The interview went over an hour. So Donald Trump went ahead and stayed 40 minutes longer or longer than he was supposed to be. Well, when Morgan went ahead and brought out the interview and advertising the interview, he showed Donald Trump being hostile. And Donald Trump walking off the set saying, "I'm done." And he left. And it was advertised like that. Well, Morgan didn't know, and the people at his network didn't know that Donald Trump and them recorded the interview, and they said that didn't happen. When they went ahead and released the audio, guess what? Trump was kind. Trump would correct himself or talk about something, whatever. But Trump didn't walk out. Trump said thank you, and they both shook hands. And guess what? They both walked out. But the media is trying to put like this evil man, this Donald Trump, that's the head of the GOP. Can't take a loss. He's disrespectful. He's not presidential. You shouldn't vote in the GOP because that's their leader. See how it looks, folks? That's how they're trying to give us a perspective. Isaac, that's just one story. Hold on, we got some more. Nicole Wallace from, I think, MSNBC said that DeSantis accused DeSantis of using dehumanization as a tactic, just like the Russian, and she compared him to the Russians raping women and children in Ukraine. That's wrong, by the way. That should never be done. But she was using she's using DeSantis as an example of that, saying, well, DeSantis is I can't say that. Tongue tied right there, ladies and gentlemen. Dehumanizing people. What she's going to? Well, she's saying that the parental rights bill, or the liberals might know it as the do not say gay bill, which does not say that in the bill, but they're saying that DeSantis pushing this bill and signing this bill is dehumanizing people, because transgender people and people of the LGBTQ community are people, and he's telling these young kids they can't talk about their sexuality in school from the age of kindergarten to 3rd grade, which the bill says. Oh, he can't. Oh, he's dehumanizing these kids. They can't talk about their sexuality. See, fear tactic. They tell us, the conservative, that we're doing that. But and you're comparing DeSantis to Russian monsters, basically. That is wrong. They're using this because they can't run on nothing else, folks. They're trying to push that Ron DeSantis don't care about the transgender. Rob DeSantis does not care about the LGBTQ community. You know why DeSantis signed this bill? Because he didn't want kids being taught by leftist teachers that think that they got to sexualize our kids at an early age. That's it. That's all DeSantis care about. But see, he's dehumanizing them. He's treating them like second-rate citizens. And it comes to the question I always ask. I wish they would ask me to come on a panel. I really wish they might think I'm dumb enough that they can twist my mind and try to prove their point. But I would go ahead and tell them, well, okay, I got a question. Tell me of a law. Don't quote this law because it does not say that in there. But quote me anywhere in the country, or don't quote, even in Florida, where somebody on the LGBTQ community was beaten or was not allowed to ride on a bus, or they were treated, they were stripped of their constitutional rights. Tell me. There's not a story like that, ladies and gentlemen. And people might do, well, what about the baker that did not want to make that gay couple a cake? Ooh, he did wrong by doing that. No, he said, I'm not making a cake because I don't want to put what's on it. But he also said, you can buy any cake in this shop and I'll sell it to y'all. But all they heard was, a baker don't want to make a gay couple a cake. And see, folks, that this bill, this parental rights bill I talked to it with Brandon Porsche when he was here. This bill does not say that a student can't say gay in school. That's nowhere in the bill. It's also saying from the kindergarten to 3rd grade, you cannot talk about sexuality in school. That is really up to the parents. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got a first grader. I got a kindergartner right now. I don't want my young children being sexualized like that. And that's what Ron DeSantis did. Ron DeSantis didn't try to dehumanize anybody. But according to the left, he did, because he signed in a bill that came against what they believe in. And that is promoting sexuality to kids. So to do that, they're going to have to use a fear tactic. And in the process, they're trying to cut down Ron DeSantis because Ron DeSantis might run for president. And they can't have that in 2024. But it's also showing that the Republican parties are evil, bad, racist, bigots, homophobes. So the media is trying to help the Democrat Party. I'll be right back after this short break.
Cheers and good on you, boys and girls. My name is Scott Ford, and I have a show on Rumble. It's the Scott Ford Show, all in one word, the Scott Ford Show, and it's on Rumble. And I also have a motivational success show on YouTube. So go ahead and subscribe and ring that bell. That would mean a lot to me. Enjoy your life. Thank you, Isaac. God bless.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Cajun Conservative Show. So let's go back to what we was talking about. I had to take a break. It was a hard break, by the way. So the media, like I said, is looking at this as, oh, we got to help the Democrat Party. See, we can't beat the Republican on policy, but we can go ahead and make them look bad. And I got two more stories I want to go ahead and cover with this, because it does bring out. Now, this happened all throughout the week, by the way. I'm just letting you know. So they go ahead and then they're making Trump like he's still now, which I said that Trump is a hothead. Trump can't admit defeat. See, me as a conservative talking about Trump like that is being honest. I think every conservative and every Republican could look at that and say, well, we see this. Excuse me. But see, leftists, they can't say that about Joe Biden. They can't say Joe Biden is wrong. All Zaskowski could say, we're going to circle back. Now, I understand her, because that's her boss, and she wants to keep her job. But I don't hear people on the left, except a select few, like Bill Maher, for example. Bill Maher's eyes are opening up. Dave Chappelle, I heard earlier, went ahead and is talking more like a conservative than a leftist. So they might say that, hey, his policies are bad and whatnot. But I can admit that. But to go ahead and make Trump like he walked out, to go ahead and get people to watch your interview because you think Trump's going to walk out. Now, I don't know how they did the final edit, but that was wrong. And also going ahead, like I said, telling Ron DeSantis that he's dehumanizing people because he signed a bill. I hate that. And look, I've got people that talked about how this is going to affect Disney or whatnot, but him signing that Disney has no more special rights as a little small country or whatever the policy is, I'm not sure about it. But that's because they attack Ron DeSantis on this bill too. That's why they said it. We're going to go ahead and make people, we're going to show 50% of our lead. 50% of our characters' leads will be gay and lesbian, transgender. Also, that's why they went ahead, and I reported on this, they put Lightyear, one of the characters, having they're kissing in the scene, but in their same sex. They did that because Ron DeSantis signed that Don't Say Gay bill. Ron DeSantis said, well, okay, if you're not happy with the way I'm doing policies, you have a policy that Florida gave you. So we're going to take that away because you don't agree with my policies. Well, if you don't agree with Florida's policies, you don't need to have the benefit of this Florida policy. Now, I heard some people say the government attacking private entities because of that. Well, no. Like I said in the beginning, people don't want to hear that. A lot of people are praising Ron DeSantis for doing this. But according to this, her name, let me go make her name, Miss Wallace, Nicole Wallace, DeSantis is dehumanizing people because of this bill. And see, like I said, folks, going back to the second segment, the networks are trying to show the world that the GOP, they're racist, homophobic, they're bigots. Hey, I'm gonna, to relate to the story, I was called that early in the week. There was a news story, and I had originally planned to put it in here, but other things happened. Like I said, remember, we're going to have another show starting the first week of May, so a lot of these stories are going to be put in now. But Ilhan Omar didn't think it was right that people were flying on a plane praising Jesus and singing about Jesus. She said, well, I'm going to go in a plane, and I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to pray and everything. And people looked at it as like, wait, you're attacking Christianity. She has the right to go ahead, and I believe it was Matt Walsh that said it. Matt Walsh said there's a lot of countries, Muslim countries, that allow that. When time of prayer, they face them to where they can face Mecca, or they can do their prayer or whatever. That's not wrong to do in an airline. Now these people singing and all that. Matt Walsh had a different take on it, but I do agree with that part of it. But when I brought this out and I said this is why America's in danger, because politicians that hate Jesus and hate Christianity, I had a person in one of my groups that I'm on Facebook tell me that I was wrong for thinking that, and we got into a debate. And one of the last words he told me was that you're thinking like that because you have bigoted ideas. So in other words, he's calling me a bigot. Look, I've been on this show I don't know how many times saying if you hate somebody because of the color of their skin, you're a racist, and that's the matter of fact. I don't care if they're white, black, purple, yellow, green, whatever color. If you hate somebody because of the color of your skin, I don't care if I offend you, but it's got to be spoken. You are a racist, and you need to repent and turn to Jesus. Plain and simple. But because I had a different opinion of Ilhan Omar and than that person's opinion, I was a bigot. And that's what they're trying to bring out right here. He's dehumanizing these people, which is trying to, in a nutshell, say, well, he's racist. And he don't like transgender people. He don't like LGBTQ community people. Look, I don't agree with their lifestyle, but I'm not going to treat them any different. I'm not going to go ahead and dehumanize these people. And that's what they're trying to do with Ron DeSantis. They're trying to make him like that. And Ron DeSantis never said that. Never said that at all. Let's go on to the next story and I'm going to continue with this because I think it needs to be hit home. Kevin McCarthy. Now, this is how you know the left is getting bad. Kevin McCarthy was asked about a conversation he had with some Republican leadership in the House of Representatives. And they asked him, were you thinking about asking Donald Trump to resign? Now, this is going back towards January 6th. When the Capitol riot happened. And McCarthy said, no, I never thought about asking Donald Trump to resign. Well, the New York Times went ahead and found some audio, and it revealed that he was considering telling Donald Trump to resign after the January 6th Capitol riot. Now, this has been a big story for the last couple of days because, oh my goodness, Kevin McCarthy said no, but he lied, and he did want to ask Trump to resign. And look, like I said, I heard a Texas congressman this morning, can't remember his name, but he said, look, they're not looking at the content. It was like, well, look, if it goes to impeachment, and they do impeach him in the House and the Senate, he should resign before it. And that was like if they knew they were going to go ahead and impeach Trump or whatever. There was a lot going on. He did not condone January 6th, which goes to the point. Trump said McCarthy's relationship not damaged. That's according to the Washington Journal. But ladies and gentlemen, look, this story, why didn't this break in 2020? It's been almost 2 years since the January 6th incident, the January 6th Capitol riot. Why didn't this story come out when they were trying to impeach Donald Trump and to get the votes to impeach him? No, they held on to it. Why? For what I'm talking about. The media trying to help the left to go ahead and get their votes what they need to win the next election. That's what this is, folks. They're trying to make Kevin McCarthy look bad, like he's a two-face and he's a liar, which I don't care who you are. If you're in politicians, you're a liar. How dare you say that? There's something that look, I'm just being honest. And look, I would let somebody sit down in the chair across from me and have an interview with me if they can go ahead and quote me a politician that kept every single promise and did not tell them something to get their vote. That chair will be empty for eternity. But they're trying to make Kevin McCarthy. They're also trying to put bad blood between Kevin McCarthy and Trump, by the way. I'm just saying, but Trump said it wasn't damaged. One more example, then I'm going to have to go to the next topic. Representative Carthorne, that's the guy from South Carolina with the wheelchair, responds to published photos of him wearing lingerie. So apparently he was at a party when he was in college and he put on some women lingerie, and now the left is trying to make this a big issue. Oh, this is the man that accused Republicans of some, I forgot what it was. I'd have to read the article, but they're making, oh, see, he's saying he's against transgenderism, he's against this, he's against that. Look, he's wearing lingerie. Look. They're grasping at straws, really. See, they can't talk about this man's policies because what he believes is different than what they believe, and what they're believing is hurting the country right now. So, hey, we're going to attack him by wearing lingerie. Now, look, I quoted all these 4 stories, and I kind of ended up with the second segment, going into the third with it. This is the left grasping at straws. They're grasping at straws because they know, and this is not my opinion, this is according to polls from CBS, MSNBC, CNN, and every news network out there, showing poll after poll after poll that the Republican Party is going to win in November coming up. Why? Because policy is bad. Now, people can say, oh, no, it's tradition. Normally, presidents if he's a Democrat or Republican, the opposite party takes over the House. And they are right to an extent. But, ladies and gentlemen, there's counties that are blue as blue could be, are considered toss-ups. And I know what it is. It's because of this president's policies and what the Democrats are forcing. Now, look, thank God for Joe Manchin and Christian Sinema for standing up and doing right by the country and not letting them change the filibuster rule, because if they did, this country would be way worse than what it is now. Thank God that they did not allow them to pass for the filibuster. But yes, the Democrats are grasping at straws. The left is grasping at straws. Because they can't agree with the agenda. All right, I got one more news story, and I just saw this right here. I would like to go ahead and bring this up. So early in the week, I think it was Monday. It might have been Sunday. Let's see. It was Monday, the 18th of the 18th of April. This came from Breitbart, and they also had other news stories. I think Fox News, Daily Wire, CNN, all of them. They did this. Federal judge, Biden airplane mask mandate illegal. So what happened was, ladies and gentlemen, almost all the states lifted their mask mandates for the current pandemic we're in. But transportation, flying in from one country to another, you had to wear your mask. Which, if it's a company policy, is fine. But the government was mandating them to do this. This was a CDC mandate. It wasn't an executive order or anything. The CDC said, "Hey, look, guys, this is dangerous, so you're gonna have to wear a mask." Well, it was supposed to be lifted, and the CDC told them, "Hey, we're gonna go ahead and extend it for 2 weeks." Airplanes, they're considered federal, they're part of federation or something like that. So they went ahead and said, yeah, we're going to do it. Well, this judge in Florida, I believe, Florida, said, no, that's not constitutional. Y'all don't have to wear a mask. Now, this is the thing, ladies and gentlemen. When this passed, everybody was happy. Now, a disclaimer right here. Because this mandate's out, that don't mean you don't have to wear a mask. If you want to wear a mask on a plane, if you want to wear a mask in a boat, if you want to wear a mask in a car, you have every right to. You, under the Constitution, has every right to go ahead and wear a mask. I'm not against that. I'm against federal agencies or the federal government mandating you to wear a mask. That's a different story. But you're free. You're free to choose. If you want to wear a mask, go ahead and wear a mask. If you're scared for your life or you think this pandemic's bad, wear a mask. But on another note, all these people are happy. There's a guy singing, "Take off your mask." And people are taking off their masks. They're throwing away. There was one captain that said, "Hey, the mask mandate's done. So if you want to take off your mask," all you heard was, "Yeah, yay!" Now, the Biden administration, Biden himself, this happened this week, said, well, look, I don't know if I'm going to appeal it, but look, if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't want to wear a mask, don't wear a mask. That came out of Biden's mouth. That's a quote from Biden. But the CDC, however, had their consoles in a bunch because they were saying this isn't right. The CDC has the power to mandate these things. So they asked the D.O.J. to go ahead and appeal to the judge about wearing a mask. And they have decided to go ahead and appeal it. The Biden administration said they were going to do it. They were going to ask the DOJ to appeal this federal judge. Now, I don't think they're going to win because the federal judge had it right. The agency cannot go ahead and tell a private citizen what to do and not to do unless they work for that agency. But according to Saskowski and Biden and all of them, they saying, well, no, you have to go ahead and you have to wear a mask. You have to wear a mask. And so now they're suing the Department of Justice. This is coming from Fox News. CDC asks the Department of Justice to proceed with a mask appeal. That came out on Wednesday. So now they're asking, but as I said, I don't think they're going to win. Now, this is why I'm bringing up the story right here. Dr. Fauci is back in the news. And you know Dr. Fauci, anything medical, supposedly medical, he's going to go ahead and he's going to come give his opinion. Fauci's crushed for saying it's disturbing that a U.S. court can overrule the CDC. That came from Fox News. Wait a minute. So Dr. Fauci, supposed to be the greatest medical mind in this nation, possibly in the world, goes ahead and says that it's disturbing that the CDC was overruled by the courts. I don't see how a man that's so smart is acting so dumb. The CDC is a federal agency. It's not the CDC does not make laws. Now they can put an opinion out there, but they're not Congress. They're not the executive branch, and they're not the justorial branch. In full reality, if you listen to the Constitution, the courts ain't supposed to make laws either. What the courts is made for, the Supreme Court and others, is to interpret the Constitution and rule according to the Constitution. They don't make laws. So Dr. Fauci saying that this judge, which I believe did right, saying, hey, the mask mandate is unconstitutional and it shouldn't be done. It almost took 2 years into this pandemic for a judge to say that ain't right. But Dr. Fauci says it's disturbing to him. I went ahead and went on Facebook with this issue. And I said, it disturbs me that Dr. Fauci thinks that the CDC can override the Constitution. That's basically what it is. And this is what gets me, folks. The CDC can go ahead and say, oh, it's not right. It's not right for a mask. You got to wear your mask. Please, people, wear your mask. Wear your mask, please. But when we go ahead and say follow the science according to abortion, that ain't science. The CDC can go ahead and give their opinion, but the American people got to live under the CDC's watch. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I think this judge did right. But for Dr. Fauci to come out and stick his nose and say, no, it ain't right, that this is taking the power away from the CDC. It should. Because like I said, a federal agency does not make laws. And to say that the CDC is going to lose power. Oh, it's going to lose power. What power? the power for you not to say next time, hey, we're going to go ahead and put a mask mandate on you. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. The CDC is mad because their power is taken away. The power that they don't have to begin with. The CDC, a federal agency, cannot make laws. It can bring up laws or say, look, we think this should be law, but they cannot make a law. And for the CDC to come on and say, hey, we're upset, and Fauci saying, I'm very disturbed that the court took away the right of the CDC to make mandates. You never read in the Constitution that the CDC has the right to mandate for the public's health. No, the CDC does not have the power. And for me to see a government worker try to give more power to the U.S. federal government than it should have, that's disturbing. And I'm glad for this judge doing this. And I'm glad finally a judge stood up and said, no, that's not constitutional. Now, it will be appealed. And if the courts rule the way I think the courts are going to rule, this is going to be overturned. Because the federal government, and look, I believe in the government. I'm not a libertarian. I'm not some right-wing nut that says, well, I don't think government is good. No, there's some elements of the government that's not good. I do believe that. But I do believe government is essential to our society. We need to know what's right and what's wrong. But on this issue, no. If you want a mask mandate, bring it through Congress. See, that's the thing. It wouldn't have passed through Congress, so they had to do it through an agent. They had to use a loophole. How government works. All right, everybody. That's going to end it for me tonight. Well, today. I want to thank you for listening to the Cajun Conservative Show. Remember, you can go ahead and like me on Google, or you can go find me on Google, Apple, and Spotify. You can also find me on Facebook, True Social, and on Twitter. Until next week, be blessed, be encouraged. You have a good week. Bye-bye.
He is the open